Because how and why narcissists communicate does not have the same purpose or the same end goal to that of the average person. And as frustrating as it is futile to try to reason or get anywhere outside of being more confused than when the conversation started, there's actually far more at stake in attempting to do so than just your sanity, and is one of the biggest mistakes that we repeatedly make when dealing with a narcissist, and continue to make after we have gone down that road of dead-end conversations every which way we possibly can think of, only inevitably to find ourselves yet again wanting to kick our own ass for getting tempted by the shiny apple that they used to lure you back in with their bedazzled Hoover maneuver jig, just so that they could send you face planting right back into the dance floor, or after they have managed to rope you in for another round of reactive abuse with their unfun game of psychological pop the pig, repeatedly poking and jabbing you with their mental cattle prod till they get you to the point where you literally can't take it anymore and explode. But you see, here's the thing. It is no more of a coincidence than you are a fool. Because though narcissists are definitely aware after they spoon feed you a few hefty servings of word salad, you'll be brain fucked faux show. They're creating this state of mental mayhem is not the only purpose for these mind games or the goal that they're aiming to achieve. And one of the key things to remember is that image is everything to a narcissist. This delusional belief of there being some kind of diamond in the rough super god is what they live for and would die without, because they have no core identity, no true sense of self. They also have no concept of other in regard to their being their own individual entity with their own feelings and opinions. To them, everyone else is nothing more than an object, a form of service that they can use to benefit them in some form or fashion, a way to get their desires fulfilled, or threat at trying to take their throne on delusionally our us island. It's more or less seeing you as something that they can control, because to them, control is just another word for power, equating their being in control or manipulating someone to react or behave in the manner that they desire, and reaffirming to themselves that they are, in fact, this powerful being. And since the way they view others and their reasons for why they interact with others aren't the same, what they're trying to get out of their conversations isn't the same either. It has nothing to do with anything else but to gather information that they can use to maintain or gain control over whatever it is they are after at any given moment. They have no intention of understanding you or are listening to what you're saying out of the sake for any benefit of yours, or what you're saying to them being applied to your own personal feeling. And in that regard, your words are interpreted as if they were talking to the teacher in Charlie Brown. Nothing more than a whole lot of wah, 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 wah. However, they do clearly recognize the difference in your emotional reactions as being something that is affecting you in a good way or a bad way, but they also can respond back to what you're saying, what appears to be an appropriate emotional response, because they are completely aware of social norms and have learned from early on social cues are of the utmost importance to keeping this delusional image of them alive, knowing exactly when and how they need to appear or come off in the eye of the public when selling someone on their bullshit, as well as when they can get away with brain fucking you into the ground, dominate, and use their not so passive aggressive means of manipulative tactics. And it's within this lethal combination of their legitimately not giving a and knowing how to respond back in a way that their reaction seems emotionally appropriate, making them not only extremely dangerous, but is what gives them their ability to remain hidden in plain sight, to lure others in and come off like they've got all sorts of charisma, and why they are masters at mirroring and mimicking and picking up on others' body languages, cueing in on the things that you're saying, how often you bring them up, picking up bullshit stories to conform and fit along with yours, to make them come off and seem so remarkably familiar, so that you will let down your guard, feeling safe to be vulnerable with them, and thus provide the very information that they are after, that gives them the advantage, keeps them one step ahead, and can use to mess with your head, gain control over you, as they now have just the very thing to guarantee push your buttons so that they can make you behave or elicit a particular response from you whenever need be, in order to benefit them, make you look bad, provide others with fake proof that you are the monster, or just to get a cheap thrill as it strokes off their delusional ego. Practicing this their whole life and have rehearsed these same questions, as well as how to maintain the control of the conversation, being able to throw you off guard without you even realizing what is happening, telling you the most outlandish lies without skipping a beat. And what really makes this Grammy Award-winning production, as they shapeshift and morphed in to this persona just for you, such a predicament, because we can't just unsee that even after that persona is long gone and they have transformed into this monster that you are now dealing with, almost kind of like happens with gremlins when you get them wet or feed them after midnight. Because we think and behave the way that we do, are having empathy, compassion, and these relationships being interpersonal in nature, biases that we have at the subconscious level, as well as their daily unleashings of psychological warfare that they have used to chip away at your self-esteem, brainwash you into thinking that you won't survive without them, deliberately creating this feeling of shame and guilt by projecting all of their issues onto you, that even when you know that there is no point in trying to explain anything to these clowns, we are still so easily triggered into doing just that, trying to get them to be more affectionate, not go out so much, or explaining what they did that hurt you, because you cannot just fully turn off the way that your brain is wired, which is why indifference towards them is the best defense when having no other choice but to interact with a narcissist, because indifference to them is confusing as because they do not see anything but in shades of black or white. Everything in their eyes is either one end of the extreme. There's no middle ground, no gray area, no in between, which is truly what indifference is. And they do not get the concept of your not reacting in one way or the other. By having awareness, taking away their control of where this conversation is headed, by simply giving them yes or no answers, as if they are but the AI on the other line of the phone at customer service, and you just stare blankly ahead like they are the most boring person on the planet with zero emotional response whatsoever, even if it requires you to bite your tongue or your lip to keep you from doing so, which is something that you can practice and get better at and be in the most optimal position to not get triggered. But that does not mean that you are going to beat them at their own game or be able to 100% be prepared at all times. And unless staying in contact or staying in this relationship is truly the only choice that you have, be that there are children involved or they have you so royally fucked over so that you will even have but a pot to piss in or a window to chuck it out of. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to cut your ties, cut your losses, and get the hell out of Dodge, because they will not stop poking and prodding and trying to get you to react how they want, to once again gain control over you, to jerk off their ego and reaffirm to themselves that they are this super god. Fuck them and fuck that. You deserve and are worth so much more. Get back the life that they tried to destroy because they are too much of a coward to face their own problems. Fight for you. Save you. Focus on you. Fuck the narcissist.